Happy Monday, traders. It is Matt and Jacey with Empire Algorithmic Trading here to bring you your daily dose of Vwapvision's Stock Talk.
It's where we use the volume weighted average price to help us make sense of the market, find some buys and find some sells. So let's get to it, Matt. It was it was quite the day. So we got a lot to look at. Let's do a little stock talk.
Let's talk them stocks.
Well, happy Monday, Matt, and it's time for a little stock talk. So, of course, we're going to lead off with some bonds.
Do
Uh,
it.
the bond market had a pretty nice sell-off here.
Wow.
I was doing I am concerned about it, right? I am a little worried about it, but I did a little research today on periods or why the bond market would decouple from the stock market. And there are some scenarios, but pretty much all of them ended up with eventually it catches up. So we could still see continuing run in the equities. I just this is a concern. So I just wanted to start. I wanted to get the bad out of the way first, right? Because it was a heck of a breakout day. It was a nice little 3.2% gain. I'm gonna throw my glasses on here. Nice 3.2% gain on the S&P, big spike in volume, massive volume. The Trump administration announcing the big drawdown in tariffs and somewhat of a ceasefire, if you will, in the trade war, obviously ignited some buying. So it's really good to see, but this is a time to be patient. You don't want to go chasing. There's been some moves, but you want to get into some of the new moves, right? You don't want to go
Yeah.
jumping in, especially right now, into anything that's crazy. Because I was looking last night, even before the futures open, I was just looking around, and there just wasn't a lot set up. It wasn't like last week where we were looking, and there was 30 stocks that were looking pretty good. A
Setup after
few of
setup
those,
after setup.
yeah, setup after setup. A few of those broke out, but a majority of them really took a hit last week. And so there really isn't a lot that's just looking at me, just going, "Wow, this is great." So today I was really excited. I was kind of like, "Man, maybe I missed something, right? Maybe I just couldn't, I didn't find anything." So I started looking at other screens and started looking at other stocks, and I really didn't find anything for a monster day like this, a 3.2% gain on the S&P, and a 4.3% gain on the Nasdaq.
Oh,
You would have
hey.
thought there would be exactly right. That's a very exciting breakout right there. You would
Yeah.
think there would be some solid buys behind that, some solid
Right.
setups, and there really wasn't. So a little bit of a downer. But and what I mean by that is I just you want to participate, right? It's bringing some stocks that haven't set up yet back closer to their VWAPs. But what it really did, and we're going to get into them here in just a minute, is it pushed a lot of the stocks that have already broke out, just gangbusters. So we might be in a partial, what's called a lockout rally, and it happened last September when a lot of the early breakouts just ran. And then there was nothing. There was really nothing to buy, but the indexes were rolling and leading stocks were going. But if you weren't in on them, it was very frustrating. So we could be in that situation. There are some stocks setting up that I think we'll see during Arrow review. But for now, there was just nothing good to get today. The Nasdaq, if you take a look, it
Hey.
rallied 4.3%. Nice solid spike in volume. First day above its VWAP, its all-time high VWAP since back in February. So let's see, it was 55 sessions below its all-time high VWAP there. So welcome to the right side there, Nasdaq. And then
Yeah.
the small caps
Ooh.
quickly jumped. I mean, a nice 3.5% gain. Ran right up to the VWAP, found a little bit of resistance, which is what you always first expect when it comes up to resistance like that. And then same thing with the mid caps. The mid caps just blasted right above it, just not a chance. Gapped up, held up above it. But like we talked about last week, or maybe it was the week before, the mid caps were actually looking the strongest of them all, and they kind
Yeah.
of that in the S&P, right? That's a clear breakout from its recent consolidation on the S&P. We were right on that teeter-tot stage. like we were talking about on weekly review, and it teetered right to the right side. It went to the plus
Yeah.
side, which is a good thing. So let's get into the VIX. The VIX, as you would expect, monster gain. The VIX took a nice solid dump. We're down at about 18.3. This is getting to
Awesome.
be the more manageable levels, right? This is where we want to be in the 18 to 15 range. That's where equities can really move. So you take the bonds, which actually might not be a bad thing. It might be a lot of money just coming out of bonds to go into risk. Might be just a risk-on environment, which means equities are just going to continue to roll, and bonds will probably settle down. But for the most part, I do want to keep watching this just to make sure that it doesn't break this nice rally that we have going on. So just it was a pretty exciting day. Dave, my new favorite enemy, up a nice
Oh
two,
no,
yeah, nice
Jace.
2.8%. I mean, what are you going to do, right? I was, yeah, man. So,
Dave is
yeah.
just laughing at you from the corner, is what he's
Oh my
doing.
God. Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna show some other charts during Arrow review that are quite funny. They're very similar to this, but yeah, Dave up 2.8%, up a whopping. Let's just see if we can. I mean, it's only up 79% from its buy point a couple weeks ago. So,
No.
oh well, that's what are you going to do? Groupon, it followed through as well, up 4.2%. Now, this one's a little interesting, right? It flashed the buy signal. It would have shaken you out on a percentage basis, never flashed the algo sell signal. But if you want to go way, way back to this all-time, well, to this high way back here, excuse me, I thought that was the all-time high. If you want to go back to this other high here, this could be considered another buy, right? You could probably add on to that. A little
Yeah.
too extended for my blood, but if you're aggressive and a little bit more risk tolerant than I am, you could use that. If you go to the weekly chart, you still have resistance up to the 60 level. So it's got a ways to go to get to that resistance. But in the meantime,
Yep.
a nice 4.2% gain on Groupon.
Wow.
Robinhood continued to move higher, up 5% on its. It kind of broke out, another breakout for us. It didn't really fall apart, but it didn't exactly follow through and came alive last week. So Zscaler, which we were rooting for, continues to push its way higher. Everything was looking like it was going to take a little break and possibly set up again, but today's action just continued to push the leading
Hmm.
stocks higher. Look at Paymentus, a nice 3.6% gap up.
Wow.
Transmedics, a nice 6.5% gain on top of its 19% gain from last week. Axon, another high after its breakout, up 1.2%. It had a wicked strong gap up last week. Argan, now this is a little bit of a bummer here. It only closed up 0.2%, had a nice strong gain going, but sold off throughout the day. Started seeing this as I started looking at more charts. So this is going to be kind of sporadically kind of sprinkled in here.
Hmm.
But a lot of the stocks ended up kind of reversing throughout the day, kind of like Hims did.
Interesting.
Kava, it's starting to break out a little bit. It flashed a buy signal, just hasn't really quite followed through, but it has the potential to start moving up higher, kind of similar to what Hood did, right? Hood kind of went sideways and starting to pull out a little bit. Uh, DFDV, DeFi Development, the Solana tracking stock that we were talking
Hmm.
about a couple weeks ago, up 18.79%. Amphenol up 4.4%,
Wow.
gap up. But see, all these stocks have already made their moves, right? A lot of these breakouts
Yeah.
have already occurred a couple weeks ago, and this is just the what happens when you buy these things. Rubric up 2.2%. None of these are in position to buy right now. They're in position to hold or possibly take profits, but none of them are in to buy. Vistra, which I was almost stopped out of last week, came very, very close. It rallied up 7.6%, gapped up new closing high after its attempted
All
breakout.
right.
Yeah, hopefully we get to see some continued follow through, but this is where discipline and patience pays off. So,
Hmm.
it was concerning. I was getting a little. I'm like, man, I don't want to get stopped out on this one. But as it is, the market worked out. Affirm recovered from its earnings sell-off, a nice 15.7% recovery. Recovered the entire gap down, did it on big volume, not as big as the earnings, but that's usually the case. But it's looking like right now that earnings is just a massive shakeout. So that probably would have stopped anybody out. I think it was down like 15%. But as we've seen, like with Dave, right, you can always buy it back. Or like with App, you know what? App's a really good one. I'm just going to bring that up real quick. App was it broke out right here, and on this day, right here was DeepSeek, and it closed down 7%, almost 8% that day. So that probably would have stopped anybody out, but
Yep.
it presented clear buying opportunities the next 2 days. And
Right.
then lo and behold, a couple days later, it's rallying up 30%. So
Hmm.
Dave was, or which one? What were we just looking at? Affirm. Affirm could very well be doing a similar thing. Shopify, which was looking like it was going to be a failed breakout, it probably would have stopped anybody out here. I think this little dip here is about 7% below its buy price here, so probably would have got stopped out. Did not flash an algorithm sell signal though, so the algorithm was able to maintain that volatility,
Hmm.
but it gapped up a nice 13% rally.
Hmm.
Carvana looked like it was about ready to consolidate, and it still might, right? It didn't overcome yesterday's high, still kind of inside of yesterday's range. So Carvana might be, but it had a nice 4.2% rally. Root, which broke out, it's tried failing a couple of times, but it's just holding above that VWAP. Had a wicked shakeout, kind of a wild day around its earnings announcement there, but it seems to have righted the ship. A series of higher lows. It too rallied 3.1%, pretty much a new closing high since its breakout attempt. Interdigital, it looked like it was about ready to roll over
Oh,
possibly.
yeah.
It capped up a nice 2.6%. Intuitive Surgical, this is a newer one on the watch list that broke out previously, but it just popped up on our watch list from its strength. It had a nice 4.6% gain today. Fix, it's the same thing. It hit our watch list this week, but it broke out unfortunately before it hit the watch list. It had
Hmm.
a 3.9% gain. So you're starting to see a lot of these stocks that had these earlier breakouts are continuing to move higher, right? Road, Construction Partners up 4.4%. GE Vernova, which I was kind of hoping was going to give us another potential setup, a little handle. It gapped up 4.3%. So the leaders are doing what they're doing, right? What we need
Yep.
are some new breakouts and some new stocks. Same thing with Duolingo up there, up about a little less than 1%. But it wasn't all positive arrows, right? There were some that bucked the trend, and these are the warning signs, right? You got Palomar down 2.9%, looks like a potential failure from its three and go. Netflix looks like it's possibly
Hmm.
rolling over, might be testing a moving average, a lower moving average. But it had a nice run, but it's flashing a potential sell signal. Spotify. It sold off 4.2%. Netflix was down 2.6%. Virtu, which had this is a clear sell. So anytime you get a
Wow.
stock that gaps way up, closes way down and completely engulfs the previous day's candle, that's about as clear of a sell signal as you want to see. So, Virtu Financial, clear reversal signal there. Same thing with Comstock's Resources, a big outside candle, completely engulfed the previous day session, a lot of volatility there. So this has the potential to trade down. Same thing with TradeWebs. TradeWeb opened right near, tried to rally up, but sold off hard throughout the day. And then a lot of the gold and the mineral stocks just got crushed. Gold took a hit, which is what you would expect to see. You had the defensive play as the equities rally up. But a lot of the gold stocks that were trying to set up again just got hit hard today, down 10%. Triple Flags Precious Metals down 9%. Royal Gold down 7%. Goldfields down almost 11%. UAMY down 19%. We talked about this during chart review yesterday.
Yeah.
Eldorado Gold down 9%.
Ooh.
Newmont Corporation down almost 6%. And Idaho Strategic Resources completely round trip. But I want to bring this one up because this really is about as picture perfect of a breakout as you can get. I mean, a nice, subtle, quiet breakout, right at the downtrend, cleared to right. It tested you a little bit, but it never really flashed any real sell signal. And then it got its act together and just went on a nice run. And then it cleared the flash that's the most traditional clear sell signal as you could get. Three clear, you got the spinning top here, you got three clear down days right below the VWAP. And then it just continued it found resistance at the VWAP, tried rallying, and then just sold off hard. And this was a pretty good run. I mean, it was 31% in what is that? 31%, just a little over a month, about 23 bars. So that's about as picture perfect as you get. That's the kind of that's what we built the model for, right? It's those sloppy ones that you want to try to avoid. So it's very interesting. This is also why you want to take your profits too, right? Sell on the way up and
Yep.
then keep a portion and ride those up as much as you can. If the algo flashes a sell signal, or if it breaks an average that you were watching, or it hits your just stop loss, you just don't want to let a 31% gain turn into a break even or a loss. So
Yep.
that's why you always want to do that. And then I want to bring up Monday because I almost sold early out of this one today, Matt.
Wow.
And it was sitting there. I'm like, man, the whole world's freaking rallying. Everything's going absolutely bonkers. And Monday is just dead in the water, right? I bought it on its breakout. It hasn't done squat. It's down a little bit, and I've like, you know what? Don't pull a Dave. And there were a
Yep.
couple of other trades that I was looking at over the weekend, just studying some past trades, and I've done that a lot. That's a very common thing that I've done where I sell too dang early, and then the
Hmm.
stocks they just go on a wicked run. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to wait for it to hit my loss. And it was literally right about here where I was thinking about it. And then it just rallied for
All
the
right.
rest of the day. Ended up closing up a buck. When I saw that, I was like, you got to be kidding me. So we'll see if it holds. It'll be nice. It's holding above the VWAP. We're starting to get some higher lows. I'm not sure if today was a higher low. So that's one, two, three, four successive higher lows. We just want to see it break out, want to see that momentum
Yep.
go. So
Yep.
hopefully get a little love from Monday from the market. But I do want to talk just real quick a little bit about the S&P and what I was looking at this weekend.
Okay.
And the more I looked at it, the more interesting it became. And it's kind of thinking like, is there any way that this could just be one giant, massive shakeout, right? It was the tariff. It was a massive move away from the dollar. But if it was just a positioning, right? If it wasn't like a continued trend, but just a one-time massive global repositioning against the dollar, that's kind of what it's looking like. The
Yeah.
more you sit back and you just kind of look at it, and that's pretty much exactly what happened last August. This was a massive sell-off from the Japanese bank raising interest rates for I think the first time in 20 some plus years, and caught everybody by surprise. And this whole thing unwound relatively quickly, and it was ugly. I mean, it was nasty. I went to all cash. If I remember correctly, I went to all cash right on the sell signal right up here. And it got pretty brutal down here. But it hit right at the VWAP and it snapped back really hard. And that's kind of similar what we're seeing right now was this massive tariff shakeout. It bounced right at the VWAP. But what happened, this was when we were getting in the lockout stage. There were a lot of the breakouts that happened right around here were just going, but there really wasn't a lot to trade. A lot of the stocks that started to break out kind of around this area here started to fail pretty consistently. But let's see. No, we're back a little bit. I think I went too far back. Oh gosh darn it. This is back in 23. I did. I went too far back. This is do 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 do. This is what I'm looking for. Gosh darn it. This is the August. This is the sell signal there. But this got nasty, and then it bounced off the VWAP and it rallied right up. But what I want to look at is these breakouts right here worked. Oops, these breakouts here worked rather well. The breakouts that were happening here were pretty tough, and then it got pretty rough right here. And what we did was we tested. If I remember correctly, that, and then we tested that VWAP right there. So that's kind of what I'm thinking we're going to see, right? Because we're just not seeing a lot of the continued breakouts right now. And so I would expect what we're seeing is we're going to see a test of that. So when you fast forward a little bit, what I want everybody to think about is just don't go haywire right here. Don't go chasing the stock. I mean, it's up quite considerably. I mean, even from just from this day, it's up 7% and it's up from the low. I mean, it's up 20% from the low. So, it's not too late to buy, but it's just not it's the strangest thing, right? It's not the time to buy, but we do want to buy when the time is right, is what I'm trying to say. So, don't go jumping in with just wait. We have the permission from the market to take risk in stocks, but you just want to take it correctly. So wait for the stocks to set up, wait for the stocks to break out. Just don't go chasing the stocks that have already broke out. Those are going to be your guide. That's what you're going to want to expect. You're going to want to use those as your guides for the next wave. Just be careful of anything that's starting to break out over the next couple of days because it's the weirdest thing. But as we start to see those roll over, those are probably going to test. Those are probably going to test and shake you out as the ones that are already moving higher like Hood or like Dave start to form some new corrections and they create new buying opportunities. So it's a cycle. It's good if you're in it. I mean, I had a heck of a good day. A lot of my positions just took off and it was a lot of fun. But at the same time, there wasn't anything to add capital to. I'm very, very partially invested. I got a lot of cash sitting on the side. So I'm chomping at the bit to put some money at risk, but there was nothing to do that today. So I'm just going to maintain my discipline, stay disciplined. I'm not going to just chase bad setups. I'm not going to buy any breakout just to break out. There's a lot of good stocks on the watch list that have the potential to set up a little bit better, and I just want to wait for that. So don't let the indexes, don't let these big gains suck you in at the wrong time. You just want to maintain your patience and just wait, right? So where I'm thinking is the golden support will be, this potential all-time high VWAP. If we do get a test, it'll probably be of here. At a minimum, I'm thinking the white anchor right here, where you had a little bit of support, the massive shakeout, and then it really didn't provide any resistance. So this could probably potentially be support down here around the 5,500 level. But I would kind of anticipate probably this consolidation that we just kind of went through, as well as the VWAP to kind of be our first initial support spots. So, but in the meantime, it's just be patient, wait for the algorithm to find the right buys, let the market come to you. We're in the zone, right? The market's on a nice strong uptrend. It's gapping up. We've got a potential bull market going on here. We just don't want to go haywire and bonkers for it. So,
Right.
have fun, but be cautious while you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly right. It's a very interesting time, and as we've been talking about, seeing those mids and smalls keep raising and looking like they're getting close to that resistance and or breaking it is really, really exciting, especially for the sustainability of this green zone. So I'm really looking forward to that and hoping that we can continue that trend and keep it moving.
Yeah, me too, man. I just want to see more breakouts, some good new
Mm.
breakouts. Like I said, I got a pile of cash that's just waiting, right? I've dipped my toes in. The water's nice and comfortable, and I'm ready to jump in. So let's get it
Cannonball,
going.
baby.
Yeah. No, 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 don't do that. You want to do a nice precision dive, right?
Yep, yep.
uh, a good kickoff. So yeah, I'm excited. It's nice to see. It is, and what I really like is there's still enough people out there that don't believe it. There's enough people out there that are still expecting and I'm one of them, right? I'm expecting a drawback. I'm expecting a test. But whether that happens tomorrow or 10% later so I'm not holding my breath for that. I'm not waiting for that, is what I'm trying to say. I'm letting the market be my guide, and I'm super excited. So it's nice seeing a lot of the trades work, and we're going to go over that with Arrow Review. So for our Patreon subscribers, our paid Patreon subscribers, there's some good charts to look at tonight. So yeah, we'll get to it, Matt, and we'll talk to you during Arrow Review, my friend.
That's perfect. And like Jace said, for our paid Patreon subscribers, you get access to both better chart breakdowns of our daily buy and sell signals that our algorithm gives us every single day. So make sure you go over and subscribe at Patreon, patreon.com/Empire Algorithmic Trading. For more information on who we are and what we do with our algorithm, check us out at our website, vwapvision.com, vwapvision.com. Otherwise, follow us on all social medias, Facebook, Instagram. We're on X, we're on Blue Sky. And for those of you listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube, thank you for being here with us. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and throw some comments our way. We love to read your guys' feedback and talk about what you want us to talk about too. So we're very excited about that. But for everybody that is here with us, listening to us, watching us, and whatever media you're consuming it, we just want to say thank you for being with us on the journey. We're very appreciative you're here. And as always, Jace, happy trading, buddy.
Happy trading, Matt. All right, everybody. Talk to you later. See you,
Bye
Matt.
bye.